Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Dig Deeper with Diagnosis on Demand podcast. So, for today, our first episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about who we are as people, who the project is as a whole, and just a little bit about how we got started. My name is David, and I'd like to turn it over to Adriana.
Thank you, David. So hello, everyone. My name's Adriana. Just a little bit about our project. So our project is called Diagnosis on Demand. And what we're trying to do is that we're aiming to bring mobile clinics to communities around Durham, starting with the township of Brock. And the reason being is that we realize one of the biggest challenges in healthcare right now is healthcare access to rural communities. So this is why we wanted to create a mobile clinic initiative to bring the healthcare services to them. And yeah, that's a little bit of a brief summary. Moving on, we will do a little roundtable just between all five of us so that all of you will get to learn a little bit about each of us. So I'm going to go first. Let's see. So hello again, my name is Adriana. I am one of the project leads for this project. And some of the things that I do for this project is that I focus more on the social media aspect and brand design. Outside of the project, I currently work at Toronto Western Hospital at the Health Services Clinic. And a little bit about myself. So I do have a couple of hobbies. I like to keep myself busy during my spare time. So I think one of the things is bullet journaling. I love swimming and golfing and just all around outdoor activities, camping, hiking, anything outdoorsy. And I will now pass it on to Lavanya.
Thanks, Adriana. Hi, everyone. So my name is Lavanya. I am also one of the project leads on behalf of Diagnosis on Demand. My role in this project is more so as a team lead by co-hosting with Shraddha for our weekly team meetings and more so of creating an agenda so that everyone is up to date with our progress and that every task is being completed within the team. And so a bit about myself is I am currently a research assistant at Holland Bloorview, and on the side, I am also an instructor for recreation programs for children and teens with disabilities. And during my spare time, I love photography. I also love to paint, hiking, as well as just going on walks. And now I'm just going to pass it on to Rohan.
Hey guys, I'm Rohan. I'm one of the team leads for Diagnosis on Demand. I'm more so specifically focused in the outreach part, and my hobbies are that I like to watch movies, I like to watch basketball and play basketball, and I also work right now as a pharmacy assistant, and yeah, that's about me. And now we can go on to David.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is David. For Diagnosis on Demand, I'm sort of more on the technical side. So sort of maintaining our website, occasional video editing, kind of just filling in some roles where needed as well. I just recently graduated, so I'm not working anywhere just yet. But in the meantime, I'm sort of holding down a part-time as a tutor and also sort of research on the side. So just kind of hoping those can hold me down until I find something full-time. But in my spare time, I do like to play some video games, play piano a lot, and I also try to grow watermelon on the side of my backyard. Kind of once in a while works, but it's the thought that counts. It's a process that I enjoy. So I guess order of elimination, Frada's got to be last. So go for it, Frada.
Thanks, David. I appreciate that segue. So hello, everyone. My name is Shraddha. I am the fifth and final team lead for Diagnosis on Demand. My role is kind of all over the place. I coordinate with everyone and do the agendas with the meetings with Lavanya sometimes. And yeah, we just basically meet with many different health teams of different hospitals or any kind of other people interested with partnering with us, whether that's community centers in Brock or any of the regions we were trying to focus on. In the meantime, Brock and eventually Port Perry, etc. And like David, I also don't really know what I'm doing, but I currently am tutoring on the side, and I also teach meditation, which is one of the things I love to do. Yoga and meditation is something I do in my spare time to relax me, and it's one of my biggest hobbies as well. I enjoy reading, I enjoy hiking. I also enjoy dancing to an extent. Bollywood dancing, to be specific, is the only type of dancing I've done professionally in festivals, but not like on stage, not to get too braggy over here, but yes. And I think one other thing that I enjoy doing is annoying my team members. And I feel like everyone can attest to that. And I enjoy eating, sleeping, just like all of you. But that is my poor humor. I'm sorry for that. Now I'd like to talk about how we all met. So this all started with one of our clubs on campus known as MAYO, or Medical Education Initiative Organization. And this was started by a few people. I forget the year, but the year we were in, Adriana, the team lead that spoke earlier, and Jolie were the co-presidents of that club during the year we all met. We all interviewed for the executive positions at this club, and we got hired. That is how we initially met as a group. Lavanya, Adriana, and David are people I met in my second year. Rohan joined later on in third year, but he was in second year at the time. But Mayo is exactly the thing that brought us together, and that is crazy to me. I don't know what you guys have to say about that, but our campus club got us all together.
I think like it's crazy how a club that was it started off small, but it grew as the years went by, and how close we all got in, especially like during the pandemic. And then, we somehow came up with this idea, this project, and then grew it. And yet, we still stuck through even after the club finished.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that one of the extracurriculars we did during uni is what brought us all together. Somehow you can call this fate. I would call it fate, but I don't know what you guys would call it.
I think the best part is that I think none of us knew each other, right? No, I didn't know like Lavanya, Shraddha, Rohan. Like I didn't know you guys before this, right? We all decided like individually, like, hey, let's apply for like this club, and then that's how it all started. But yeah, I don't know about fate, but I'll definitely say this has been a good ride so far.
Yeah, like I still remember doing the interview in front of Jolie and Adriana. I was going into it not thinking that of anything, like I would get a spot in the club, but yet here we are, and we all had like different programs back then, and yet it brought us all together, and just we all became more than like executives, a part of a team. We actually just became more friends, and that's crazy to me to think of.
Exactly. And surprisingly, like I actually remember all of y'all's interviews during that time and just meeting each of you individually, and then now coming together, fast forward to now where all of us have literally graduated from uni and all taking on
Hey.
different paths and milestones in our lives and still coming together to do this project. So very excited about that.
It's crazy because when I came into UFT, I did my first year at Queens, so you guys were really my like first friends at UFT. When I joined this club, so I'm very happy and glad to have met you guys through this club. So yeah.
Right, because we didn't meet Rohan in person, so it was sort of hard to like, get to know someone. It's different getting to know someone in person than it is online, so we had to do a lot of like, I guess, trust exercises and just getting to know everyone and try to break the ice. So
Yeah, Rohan is someone that we had not seen in person. I had
Yeah.
met all of you in person, right? Due to Mayo meetings in person back before COVID. But Rohan, Rohan is special in that sense because we haven't met him in person by far. But yeah.
shout out to
Only
Rohan.
video, only just through video, but yeah.
I guess like we can talk about how this project came to be, how Diagnosis on Demand initially started, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in 2021, 2020?
Yes, it was 2021 summer,
Summer.
August of 2021.
I literally remember like having an email on my like UFT email saying like there's this opportunity from the Brilliant Catalyst from Ontario Tech University, and pretty much saying like, hey, there's this competition, it's for 10 days, it's online, because during that time they couldn't really do an in-person event. So it was in August, and this event was 10 days, and pretty much there were like 3 categories. It was, what were they? Healthcare, talent,
Education.
and education, yes. And then pretty much because we all had science backgrounds, it was, going to make more sense if we were choosing the science towards healthcare. And pretty much like we all had that passion towards healthcare. So then we decided to, create a product. It was either going to be a product or a service that would pretty much help towards rural communities in Canada. And so the focus area was in the township of Brock. So I still remember like asking everyone, because we had a group chat about whether or not we wanted to sign up for this competition. And I'm pretty much sure that everyone was on board.
Yeah, it all started with the Brilliant Catalyst Challenge. And it was only like a couple days long, but I remembered that we all had to put in a lot of hours during those couple days just to put together our presentation and attend all the meetings that they wanted us to attend. It was pretty intense for those couple days because not only were we attending meetings and creating PowerPoints, but we were also brainstorming how we're going to solve these issues, what should be done. And I just remember that as a great like bonding experience with you all as well, because we all had to have Zoom calls over the course of like a couple hours. I think it was a couple hours. And we had a lot of different conversations during those Zoom calls. So it was definitely something that was really cool, cool team building experience.
Oh my God, I forgot about the Zoom calls. Like it was a lot of like sleepless nights too, of trying to come up with an idea that was realistic and possible to attain. Just because like we've seen like the Brilliant Catalyst, I remember them like showing past products or projects that other students have done, and sort of were like, should we go beyond that goal, or should we like stay and just play it safe? But yeah, I'm glad that we came up with this idea, and it was all because of Shraddha. She came up with this idea.
My dad, actually, it was funny because this was again post like COVID era, like very, very new out of COVID when everything was slowly beginning to open up. But the situation back in India was different because of the population, how big it is, and people were still not getting oxygen. So my dad was like talking to me about the situation in India and how they were using mobile clinics to like reach remote rural locations of India and like setting up little tents there with like mini mobile clinics going everywhere with the oxygen, etc. And I was like, you know what? That's something we could do here. So I was like, let me just suggest it to these guys. And I remember we had a whole like debate on whether or not we should go through with it because this was about digital solutions to these problems. And this was not exactly a digital solution, but it was something that would definitely work because of all the issues we saw about the broadband internet connection and how most rural areas in Canada don't have such a great connection or something. So I was like, okay, we might not be able to go the digital route. So then this idea came up like that.
I remember like us, it was a few days before the pitch day where we would have to, all the teams, like from different universities, even from people from Ontario Tech would have to present their idea under what, 5 minutes, 3 minutes?
It was 3, I think.
And it was so stressful because we had to come up with the whole entire pitch deck. And we practiced that so many times that we wanted to make sure it was under 3 minutes because of how strict the timing was. And we had to present this to investors, entrepreneurs who were really just like looking at our idea, and like we were just hoping for the best. Like I still remember it as if it was yesterday.
I guess at the end of the day, message is do extracurriculars, right? Um, none of this would have happened if, we didn't say, hey, like let's apply to this club. The rest was history. So I don't know. You're like high school or uni, just get out there, involve yourself in things. You never know what happens because, this is a prime example of that.
Definitely agree with that, David. I feel like the more you get yourself out there, whether it's on your campus or just in your community, you're bound to find people that are like-minded like you and could create projects such as the ones we have created today.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're definitely looking forward to hopefully growing the project, right? Getting out of this sort of phase here. So yeah, Roman, do you have any sort of closing thoughts for us here as we prepare to call it a podcast?
I just want to say that this journey has been a great journey from when we started up till date, and I feel like we have a lot in store for us in the future. I feel like everything will go great, and we have so much to go after and achieve, and I'm very excited to do that with all of you.
Perfect. So I guess this marks the end of our podcast, episode 1. There will be many more episodes to come with potential face reveals, games, any sort of discussion or topic that we'd like to talk about. So those will be coming very soon. But other than that, it's been a pleasure meeting everyone, and thank you all for listening.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
See ya.